All right, all right. I think we're gonna be better now. Guys, can you hear us? We
Yeah,
do have we do have Norris King, Councillor Norris King, who has joined us from Region 10, and in particular Linden, but serves the entire region. And we're so happy to have folks like Norris with us. Let us know if you can hear the audio now. Right?
yeah,
Hold on for me. We got Wilma Grant joining us from Brooklyn, New York. I see somebody whose identity on Facebook is just Facebook user says yes. They say now we're hearing loud and clear. Well, we're happy about that. Tessa Isaacs, Rev Zandy, Glycis Mingo, Burn, and Candida Lynn Inderjeet says loud and clear. Alison Pearson. So we know it's not just us at this end here, and all the other guys. And thanks to Chisel Chipper who said ask if it's just share music. They understand that we come here to for business, we don't play around. It's not a musical show per se. Yeah. So Norris was in the process of telling us about what is happening concerning the politics in Region 10 at Councillor Norris King. See, I would say senior councillor. Go right ahead, Norris.
All right. I think we're going to be better now.
yeah.
And so we do have Norris King, and Norris King who joined us from 10, um,
Norris, we're getting some feedback from your end. So if you won't be able to talk to us and listen to yourself at the same time. So whatever you might be listening on, you might gotta mute that for us. We're getting a terrible feedback at our end.
we joined us from 10. Now it's getting some feedback from your end. If you won't be able to talk to us and listen to yourself at the same time. So whatever you might be listening on, you might.
That's what happened.
Go right ahead, Norris.
Okay, Norris.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm still getting that slight feedback.
I think what happened, I had the program running on this device and talking to you on the same device.
Maybe that's it. Maybe, perhaps.
So you're hearing me better now?
I'm hearing you clearly.
Okay,
Go
then the
ahead.
viewers would be. Yeah. So I was saying to you earlier that for me, aside from the tourism aspect, we can get back to that a little
hmm
later on. But it's me and my politics, and where the politics in Region 10 is concerned, nothing is as usual. As for the time that we were in government, you and I know that we began putting things in place to better the lives and livelihood of the people, not just in Linden, all across Region 10.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And the moment the installed regime got their wishes,
hmm
you know, everything began to change. They started doing everything haywire and haphazard. They're trying to continuously bypass the established institutions, mainly the Mayor and Town Council and the RDC, and using their lackeys to get things done as a means of showing the people, oh, this is what the PPP is doing for you. And I want to make it clear at this point
hmm
that regardless of who's the government of the day, governments are responsible for doing things within and for the people in the various communities, whether persons would have voted for them or not. And everyone needs to understand that. All right. Some people are of the view or the notion that, oh, the people got to put their people for do their business. Then why do we have established institutions where we have elected representatives of the people? I can remember while we were in government, um, not 2015, but 2016, if my memory serves me correctly, the RDCs of regions 3 and 6,
hmm Yep.
the disbursements that they got from the coalition government, they spent it out in under 6 months and asked for more money, and they got it.
Different strokes for different folks.
Right? Now, that is how the system is supposed to work. We could have said back then, oh, we ain't giving y'all no more money. Y'all don't spend out what y'all was supposed to get. Wait till next year. But that would have defeated the purpose of our Guyanese-ness. Our
Correct.
government
Correct.
is
Correct.
supposed to be a government of all the people, whether they vote for you or not. And today we are seeing here in Linden and Region 10, where this installed PPP regime is handpicking their elements of corruption to execute things that should be executed by the primarily town council and by extension the RDC. And this should not be. Secondly, one of the things that we recognize happening also is that the RDC would meet and we would prioritize roads and other things to be done. And lo and behold, when these things, we expect these things to be carried because they're voted on at our statutory meetings. And at the end of the year, you realize that these things were not done, but
Mm-hmm.
other roads were done, other things are done.
In this one Guyana.
Yes,
Wow.
right? And so those are some of the problems that we face. But we continue to make representation for our people. I'm thankful for podcasts and um, programs like these that
Yeah.
continue
Yeah.
to opportunity to highlight to the people the state of things within the regions. We as a people need to understand that there's a reason why there's an organized structure in every town and region. And you know, it is evident that some people just believe that the ranching must take place. Sometimes when I see what's going on, I'm here in Region 10 and I'm wondering if I'm in Letem, you know, because the ranching seems grand and it seems as though people are of the opinion that that has to be the order of the day. At the end of the day, it's taxpayers' monies and
Correct.
it's spent in a responsible way.
Correct. And I'm happy that you've articulated some of the infrastructural disparities that are taking place there in Linden. And I'm certain by now, Gwyneth Anderson and Ingrid King, some of the folks listening to us, Sandra Holder, would know some of this. But there's also economic disparity happening there. We know a lot of folks were fired from jobs in Linden initially after this installed regime came into office. I don't know how far we've gotten with the part-time work they have promised. I know how far we gone with that, but in some basic things like handouts, some hampers and so forth, cash grants and so forth, it's the same thing you find happening. It's friends, family, and favorites. Everybody else stay back.
Yes, well, we had this scenario that was highlighted by our regional chairman not so long ago, where he highlighted a number of hampers that were left to spoil um, somewhere in the care of the prime minister's representative. And, you know, these things are things that we need to have corrected because whether, regardless of who is sharing it, is taxpayers' money provide these things.
Correct.
And persons to be hoarding them and not having them reach the people, having them overtaken with weevil and all the like. It's so disheartening. You know, poor people need these things. People need these things. People are without jobs. So much hardship is going on. Um, when the vice president was here, he alluded to um, reaching out to the people and having things done so that the economic hardships could be alleviated to some extent. However, that was mere talk, and there is no
Number is
firm,
good at that.
there is
Talk,
no
talk.
proper system or structure in place. What's happening? There are some people that are approaching a few of these people, whether it be the prime minister, representative, or whoever, and they're deciding who gets a grant or who doesn't.
Mm-mm.
And yes, these things should be for all the people. It's a sad situation. It's a situation that has people across Region 10 thinking that you got to have a PPP card before you get a 30,000 grant or a 250,000 grant. Mind you, there was the issue of the farmers where their farms had issues when we had excessive rainfalls, even here in Region 10. All right, primarily in the Borbis River area and those places. Yes, a few people got some of the measly grants, but the vast majority of people that really needed it did not get it. People who don't even have farms would have gotten some of the grants because it's like a political payout for something upcoming. I am of the opinion that sometime in the very near future, we'll be looking at either snap elections or local elections. And I'm
Them
of
boys
the
come in,
view
they come
that the
in.
PPP is trying to pay people. Yes, they're trying to pay people, right, to win favor from them. But the people of Region 10 are resilient. As you know, we remember, lest we forget. Because if we forget our past, we're destined to have it repeated. Quite recently, we celebrated and reminded others of the tragedy that we suffered. Mind you, one of my cousins from Ansgrove perished in that incident where the Sun Chapman launch was blown up by the PPP. And very soon, Monday coming, we have the other tragedy where the three Lindeners were killed while standing
Yep.
up for our
Yep.
rights when the
Yep.
PPP wanted to introduce GPL's exorbitant electricity bills here in Linden and across Region 10, even though it's the bauxite company that generates electricity for our communities.
And what is more, Norris, these guys want to come back now and say we care. We care. Right?
For who?
Well, that is the question. Is for who? We care. They stop there. They didn't tell you it's for who, but really it's friends, family, and favorites. And as you're on that, Norris, that issue of the Son Chapman and the more particular issue of the Linden martyrs, I know there's an event as we at this point. I plan to bring it up at the end of the program, but since we're talking about it anyhow, there's an event coming up on Monday as we reflect on the life of these folks and their service.
Yes. These programs are open to the public. We're inviting one and all to join us in solid solidarity for our loved ones that are lost in the tragedy, primarily at this point, because on the 6th we would have celebrated or we would have remembered and respected those that would have perished in the Son Chapman tragedy. And so on the 18th, which is Monday, we are remembering the lives lost as we stood. Those that remember Shamroy Boye, Ron Somerset, and Alan Lewis are the three guys that lost their lives at the Wismar Mackenzie Bridge when they were shot by police. Many others of us were shot but survived. We still bear those scars. We remember, and we will continue to remember. So when the PPP comes to tell people, oh, we care, who you really care for, what you really care about. And on this note, I want to remind folks that as we assess the actions of the PPP,
Mm-hmm.
it is evident that the PPP's One Guyana is pushing the actions that say to us, that it's either a PPP Guyana or an Indian Guyana. And it is sad. It is very sad. When we look at some of the complaints that would have come out of the Two Shows Council, the
Well, I was
National Two
coming
Shows
there.
Council.
You read my script. Go ahead, Norris, because I know, for instance, in Region 10, good people who are listening to us, GT Root Girl and Melanie Clebenson, Marlon Thomas, and all the other folks, Karen Welcome, for instance, we've had some issues where the people rejected the leadership the PPP put forward in places like Hururu, right, and Wiki Kalkuni. They have rejected the leadership in these places, and these are, if I'm correct, these are areas in these are indigenous settlements in Region 10. And then we come to the National Two Shows Conference that's happening currently, and the Two Shows are telling us how the folks have strong armed them, hijacked the conference, albeit from them. Talk to us, Norris.
Yes. So when we look at these things, when we look at all these things, it says to us in no uncertain terms that the PPP has an agenda, as always, to malign whom it chooses and to show total disregard
Yep.
to people and institutions that do not condone or promote the ills that they put forward to people. We have to understand that these are serious times, and it is time for us to be resilient as a people and to stand against the tyranny
Correct.
of.
Go right ahead, Norris.
Yes. So as we look at what is going on all across Region 10, we must call a spade and a spoon a spoon. We must be able to stand as a people. And I would normally say to people, regardless of, at the end of the day, it's taxpayers' money. It's not PPP people money or AFC people money or PNC people money. It's taxpayers' money. And those monies should be spent for betterment of the lives and livelihood of all people, all Guyanese people. And any party, primarily now the PPP, that's trying to segregate our people must be stood against. We must stand against these things. Coming to an issue that would have been burning over the years, I can go as far back as I
Norris,
remember. Yeah.
just before you head there, and as we on the National Two Shows, a conference happening. Coming out of that conference, there is a report in this morning's, I think it is the Starbuck News. Is it? Is it? No, rather it's in Culture News, where the Two Shows are saying that they don't just want handouts, they want sustainable livelihoods. They want to be treated like other Guyanese. They want to be treated fairly and equally. They don't just want handouts, they want good jobs. They want to develop their communities. You don't just come and bring a little bag with a little half-pack chung min, a little quarter pint oil in a bottle and some salt. They want a meaningful existence. They don't just want to live, they want to thrive. Norris?
I think that's one of the ways that the PPP has been disrespecting our indigenous peoples over the years.
Mhm.
They continue to do that. Mind you, I feel it because as much as I appear as Afro Guyanese, as I appear to many, my maternal grandmother was Amerindian. She's a Stephen from Truly Island in the Essequibo. So, I feel their pain.
Mm-hmm.
All
Mm-hmm.
right. The PPP continues to disrespect our indigenous relatives and loved ones, our indigenous friends, and all across Guyana. Here in Region 10, the vast majority of our indigenous people, while some of them are resilient, many of them are fearful.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because of
You got it
this,
right.
so many things happen. All right. But We want all of our Indigenous people to know that we are with you and we will continue to support your cause. There are some issues in different areas across Region 10 where Indigenous lands are being issued to people under suspicious circumstances. All
Correct.
right. Those are things that are now coming to the fore. And those are things that we will continue to address because our First Peoples ought to be respected. The issues, the things that their lifestyle in our forested areas are totally different to those of us that live on the coastland and central areas. And to violate those lands would mean undue hardships for those people. All right. Things that are being allowed or beginning to be authorized these days would cater to animals being chased away, fishes
Yeah.
moving on.
Yeah.
How are they to live? All
Yeah.
right. That's their farmlands are going to be taken away and turned into mining lands of some of the oligarchs that would have supported the PPP for whatever reason or the other. All right. Some of these so called, what do I call it? Something of democracy,
Guardians.
guardians of democracy. Those are the people that are now quiet in a corner and disrespecting and coveting what rightly belong to our indigenous family. And those are things that we now need to address.
Correct. 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 We've been following what has been happening, and folks, of course, Councillor King isn't wrong at all. We've been following some of what has been happening in these regions, and these issues concerning land, especially the issues that concern land. Oh my Lord, folks, they are so plentiful. They are so plentiful. Whether we're talking about the issues that are happening, for instance, at Chinese landing, right? Land and mining, and the indigenous people being deprived of their birthright, almost there, being given next to nothing. Whether it's what's happening at places like uh, um, Isanaro, same issue, land and so on. Oh, Father of mercy, the people wicked, to say the least, wicked to say the least. And there are other areas as well that have come under attack because the people who have a right to it, much like the rest of us as Guyanese, can enjoy the right because they want everything for themselves. That's the nature of the people. It's the nature of the people. So we are saying, Councillor King, you absolutely right. We've been following at our end to you. Absolutely right. The dastardly acts by the installed regime. Councillor King.
Yes. And, I was moving to a time and phase, a period in our lives all across Linden Region 10, like I was about to say, going way back to around 1995, which is when the PPP was settling into their strides after the 1992 general and regional elections. From there coming forward, it is evident that the PPP had a planned program of economic genocide for Linden and Region 10. As we fast track to 2020, from 2020 to now, it is evident that the PPP continue, they would have continued to push that economic genocide program while saying we care.
Yeah.
There is not
Yep.
one single economic program pushed by the PPP for Linden or Region 10.
Uh-huh.
What they come and they give these handouts, all right, where they choose who gonna get a hamper and who not gonna get a hamper, all right. And while some people are grateful because people are desperately in need,
Yep. Yep.
so while some people are grateful, yes, but that is not um, economically sustainable. What people need, for example, the same 300 and 500,000 grants that they're sharing out in other parts of Guyana, whether it be Region 6, where their stronghold is, or Region 3, or Region 2, or anywhere else in the country. We're saying that it's taxpayers' money and it should be shared in Region 10 also, so that people can establish farms, establish different forms of economic ventures. All right, we got people that got small businesses here that just need a little economic impetus so that it can grow. All right, and these are the things that we really need the government to look into, because we're all Guyanese. But when we look at the fact that they're going all over Guyana and giving people free fertilizers, all right, Sharad,
Mm-hmm.
how much account they give of the $1 billion that they invested in fertilizers?
That's a
Let's
good
check
question. Well,
how
based
much of it how much of it came to Linden or Region 10, if any at all.
well, based on the fact, Councillor King, that they've only increased the regional budget over the last 2 years by 1%, giving a $500,000 increase to Region 10. I'm not gonna hold my breath that fertilizer is gonna come. You know, $500,000 increase, 1% increase in the regional budget for the people of Linden and other areas. I ain't gonna hold my breath that more coming for Linden. I'm not gonna hold my breath for that.
In a vast region like this. All right. So those are the things that people need to continue to pay attention to, because it's not the fancy talk that they jump on television and
Precisely.
they
Precisely.
do and give to people, and they come at Wutuka Club and they come to some other public forum, whether in 1 Mile or Wizra, or like how they're running in the Berbice River every steady now all of a sudden, and tell people, look at their actions. And I am saying to people today on this podcast that actions speak louder than words.
Correct. Correct. I put you there.
The
Right?
mere,
And
the
and
mere,
and and Councillor King, I want to ask you about some action. As you're talking about economic empowerment, what has ever happened to the Linden Entrepreneurial Network? That facility that was there to empower entrepreneurs and small businesses in a financial way. What has ever happened to that fund? As we talk about
as,
action.
as far as I know, um, only about a week ago or so, I saw a correspondence where, because we would have discussed it at RDC level, and we would have asked the regional chairman to write the powers that be, requesting that the board for Len to be reestablished. That place is literally defunct.
Wow.
Yes, you have a couple of staff there getting paid, by the way, but what they're being paid to do is another problem. Now, monies are supposed to be there in a revolving fund, right? To be issued to people so that persons can get loans, and some grants are given out through that very system, so that persons in business can, like we said, have this economic impetus. The reality is that no monies are there, and so people of Linden and Region 10 cannot access any funds through LEN.
Wow. Simply wow. And this is the people who care. This is from the people who care. And we can come to what I did as yet with the power company board.
There's a difference between the people who care and the people who say they care.
Yep, very much so. Folks, you all hear what happening here? Nolan Fraser, and Carl Miller, Fred Mason, Marilyn Thomas, Vanessa De Silva. You all hear what happening here? Magnell Barrow. You hear what happening? I know, the other spectator gonna deny. It's one of the folks who come on here. Don't like what we have to say, but they come every day, and we welcome you. We welcome you and the others, right? But this is it. This is it from the people who matter the most. From the people who say they care, as Councillor King tells us, people who say they care, but they really care. When you put your money where your mouth there, if you care, put your money where your mouth there, if you care.
The thing is, I think, Sherrod, they know for a fact, because they have the statistics, that the people of Region 10 don't and did not vote for them.
Mhm.
And so this is payback, right? But we are a resilient people.
I
We
love
would
that.
have
Resilient people.
we would have survived their initial 23 years onslaught from 1992 to 2014, 2015. We survived that 23 years. And the mere fact that we would have survived that 23 years, after all they would have done, rest assured, they're going to see that we will survive these 2 mornings where they're going to live. They ain't gonna.
Endorsed.
Yes.
We endorse that. We endorse that. But folks, you all here, and this is just some of us happening in the region. It's just some. If we had more time to lay out, all the things that happen in the region, we need more hours in the day to do that. There's just some, as Councillor King started off the discussion by talking about some of the infrastructural stuff that is badly needed, and even some that are trying to fix it so substandard. They're bringing all the contractors from outside the region to make money and letting people there by the wayside. Again, it's people who said they care.
We had these situations where roads float away when the floods came, drains floated away, drains collapsed in Silvertongue and other parts of Linden because of these substandard works. And mind you, these are things that we were highlighting to the REO about what was going on. Now they're buying past the Linden contractors that understand the basic infrastructure of the place, and they're sending their PPP lackeys from West Dem and other parts of Guyana, giving them the contracts to be done, and they're not being done. One of the things that I want to bring to the fore at this point, Sherrod, is that new multi-billion-dollar Bamia school that's being constructed by people that ain't got a clue of engineering, if you want to put it that way. All right. Yep. And I will say this because I still have the evidence where Norris King would have recognized deficiencies in the initial stages of the works, and I have the photographic evidence. So I could talk, right?
Talk things.
And you know what? They were using the wrong grade of or not the grade of material that was in the contract. All right. And when it was brought to their attention, you know what happened? They quickly wrote a letter to the chairman claiming that they went through some what was the word in?
Jiggery pokery.
some redesigning or some construction redesign, right? No, they would have they claim to have gone through that without notifying the RDC who has oversight of of the contract, of the works that's being done, because it's the people's money, right? And further, now we're hearing that the contract is more than a month behind schedule, right? So we're going from bad to worse.
Well,
And it means, therefore, that at the end of the year, we get there in the middle of nowhere. Now, who correct that situation for our children's benefit? Because it's we people gonna suffer all the time.
Yep. Them boys come back.
From
Them
the
boys come
outset,
back.
it was declared that particular contract was a gift for the boys. All right? And a whole lot of reasons were given as to, the guys bid fair and square and they won it and the whole 9 yards. But now we are beginning to see the effects of those substandard decisions that were made. And I think going forward, we need to keep pressing on the gas where these issues are concerned, because these are things that will continue to affect future generations here in Linden and Region 10.
Excellent. Councillor Norris, Current King, I want to thank you for spending this time with us today and sharing your vast insight on these myriad issues, because often with Guyanese, you are plowing in some other part of the vineyard in this country, but to hear what happening next door, sometimes you realize, what, they're the same thing. These boys really didn't care for truth. And our folks in the diaspora who tune in get a chance to hear precisely what is happening, precisely what the folks are doing, the jagabats and the trench crappos. Councillor King, I really want to thank you for your time, and don't be such a stranger. Come by and update us on these issues.
Whenever you need me, you just send me the invite and I'll be here.
All right, sir.
Keep our people abreast of what is going on, because what happens, the installed regime would normally filter what they want to filter to those in the diaspora and elsewhere, and have people believing that everything is bright and beautiful and all is grand, when that is not the case. People in Linden, people in Region 10 need our fair share of benefits from the taxpayers' coffers. I noticed recently our dear president attempted to beg the folks from the Middle East for how much billions of dollars. And, at the end of the day, taxpayers got to pay back the money. No free lunches. We entitled to it. It's an entitlement. It's not anything that you're giving. They would be giving us out of the genuine goodness of their hearts. We entitled to it as taxpayers and as citizens of this oil-producing nation called Guyana.
Yep. We hear that. Councillor King. We hear that. Thank you so much again. For coming through and illuminating, shedding light on some of these issues for us. Thank you so much.
Having me, and thank you for all the audience for tuning in and spreading the word as you share the light.
That's right. That's it. Thanks, my brother. Thank you so much. Have a good afternoon.
Same to you and the viewers.
All right, folks. That is our time. That's our program. What else can we say? Thank you, Councillor King. And we're going to have more of our councillors throughout the country on Thursdays come by and tell us what's happening where they are. So stay tuned, folks. Stay tuned. That's my time. That's my program. Sion Butters, good to see you. Maureen Coppin Williams, good to see you. Hazelyn King and Yolanda. Gwyneth Anderson. Gwyneth, how you doing, man? How you doing, Gwyneth? Good to see you, folks. I see y'all got y'all by spectator, man, them, or y'all person spectator. I'm going to be gentle, mutually, If the other spectator is man, woman, or child. Right? Y'all got the person bad there, man. Good to have you, folks. Thank you for coming by. These are what these programs are geared to do, to edify you good people, you wonderful people. We're only talking with valid viewers and we want credible comments. Only. Welcome one and all. We're going to see you guys right back here at 8 this evening. In the ring. That's how we do it. In the ring, folks. At 8. Thanks for joining us, folks. Folks, you know, we always ask you guys to support our program. Partner with us. We can continue to go from strength to strength. We got Zelle. We got Cash App. We got... What is the other one, folks? We got Zelle, Cash App. We got PayPal. We got MMG. That's the Guyanese Cash App. We got MoneyGram, Western Union. We're available at... And you need any guidance on how you can partner with us, 627-6963. That's our WhatsApp numbers, 21st century, folks. WhatsApp, we can tell you how to partner with us, how you can go through one of these mediums to do so. Thanks for being here with us. That's the time. That is the program. Thanks again, Councillor King, and all of you, folks, the hundreds of you who showed up for the podcast today. Yvonne Ramasar, Deborah Clark, Kishon Sharma Ramjatan. Good to have had all of you folks on the live today. Yep. See you guys later. Stay safe.